does everyone have the same purpose in this life?
Yes and no. The example that comes to mind is imagine that you have a cup in your hand and you let it fall into the floor. And the cup crashing against the floor goes in an infinite number of pieces. Some are small like dust, infinitely small, and some are still big, they almost resemble still pieces of the cup. Some remain in the impact where the cup crash, fall. Some goes everywhere in the space. All right? So once this occurs, for the recreation of the cup, each of these pieces, no matter how big it is, how small it is, and how far it is or how close it is, has the same purpose. Because each of these pieces are equally important. Because if only one of these pieces is missing, the cup cannot be recreated. So that means we have the same purpose to recreate the cup. However, there is not one piece of the cup that is identical to the other. They are all different in size, in shape, in forms, in distance, in everything. Mm-hmm. So we have, under the general umbrella of having all the same purpose to recreate the cup, we all have the way, our way is all individually completely different and unique. So we are all the cup, but at the same time we are all unique. It's a paradox. And we know that life is a paradox. And the magical thing is that every time the cup is recreated, the cup has a higher level of vibrancy. It's more beautiful, it's more vibrant because it has gained more sense of self. So the cup, before I break into pieces, didn't know that was a cup. Now it knows. It has knowledge of itself because it experienced fragmentation in an infinite amount of ways, and that experience now is back to its original form. So it's like a cycle. You start and you start unconscious, and then you go back to the cycle, and now you are conscious. So the cup is still the same, but it's much more vibrant. And of course, it will continue to eventually fragment itself and reform. And every time it becomes more vibrant and more alive and more conscious.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you say is that for humanity, the purpose is to remember who we are, right?
Yes.
So that's the highest purpose for all humanity. But then we have our own unique gifts to give. Or you say there's also a unique purpose for everyone.
The purpose, this is a transformational center.
Yeah.
We all come here with the purpose of becoming more of what we already are. And for that we have all the same purpose. How we do get to such a goal, everybody has a unique way. Yeah. And we are all special and unique in our way to get there. But the destination, it's the same after all. It's how we get there. Everybody will get there in a different way. And that's the exercise. The exercise of this experience is an exercise in variety. There are other reality where everybody get there in the same way. In this situation, everybody gets completely different ways to get there. So we are all one, and at the same time we have diversity. And in the appreciation of our diversity, we learn the idea of unconditional love.
Yeah. So how does one find their purpose or their gifts?
Well, in many ways, everybody will find it in different ways because we are all unique and we are all have different fingerprints. But again, by taking responsibility towards the gifts that we have inside ourselves is part of the process. Many of us have no clue of what gift they have, and most of us have been conditioned to believe that they actually are not special, they are average, and they are nobody, and they are not, they don't have any gift within themselves. Okay, so that's your starting point. I am here, and I start from here. This is where I start my path. It doesn't matter what age you are. You start right now. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and so you start from this situation. There is this belief that I'm not special, and you start from there. How do you start to move? You start to work on increasing your level of discernment. It can be very tricky. Well, first of all, you have to have a tremendous amount of passion towards life. Because if you don't have passion, then you will lack intensity in your action, and then without intensity, it might take forever before you start to wake up. So you have to have that driving force that wants to, you have to have that thirst for life, for knowing more, for not accepting things as they are. At the same time, you accept the things as they are, meaning you are not in contraction with them, but at the same time, you are willing to take, to dare into the unknown, to an expansion, right? So you work on increasing your level of discernment. Discernment, the ability of discernment for me is the most elegant way to express, to define intelligence. Most of us address intelligence as the idea of the ability to resolve complex mathematical problems, or there are different kind of definition of intelligence. They are all valid. My personal and preferred one is the ability to discern what is real from what is not. To me, you're extremely intelligent or very intelligent when you have a very high level of ability to discern from what is real and what is not. So I watch TV and okay, what is real, what is not. I hear, I learn history on a school, what is here and what is not. I hear that from the religion that God is like this, what is real and what is not. Discernment means by observing the reality that you are being fed with, and then maintaining sovereignty, maintaining your connection with your inner intelligence, which is most likely in your intestine, and then you navigate through discernment, through resonance. So what it feels good, you allow it in, and what it doesn't feel good, you don't. So discernment, resonance, joy, imagination, these are the tools. Joy, again, we need to figure out what is real joy and what is not. Many people, many of us are so dissociated from their intelligence that they confuse joy with anxiety. Joy is such a pure feeling that occur in your guts, there is an enthusiasm, a genuine enthusiasm, and usually joy drives you towards things that are out of the box most of the time. So joy, resonance, discernment, imagination, these are our tools. Communion with nature can help a great deal, because nature, although also needs some healing, is probably still the one of the few things that are real in this artificially created reality. So when you sit next to a tree, or when you feel the sand in your hands, or you swim in the ocean, or you cuddle with a dog, that kind of information usually is pure and real, and allows you to relax into a part of you that it's non-physical, and from there you can download valuable informations, and then with your imagination, the exercising of your gifts, you take action, and that's how you move forward.